As language learners, we tend to make really inspiring, motivating, exciting goals, especially in the new year. This year, my goal was to study a different language every month. It is now the end of March, and I can confidently say that I have failed my language goals miserably. But that's okay, because in my opinion, language learning isn't about passing or failing. It's about learning things and taking that data into your brain and using it to make your language learning better. So in this video, I'm going to share what I've learned in the past 3 months of learning languages and what I plan to do for the next 3 months. If you're new here, hi. My name is Jamie, I'm a language coach, and my job is helping online language learners stick to their goals, stay consistent, and motivated long term. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday. After 3 months of failing my language goals, what have I learned? I learned a lot of things that I teach my clients every day. I just kind of conveniently forgot to apply them to my own life. The first thing that I learned this year was to not make commitments based solely on a language learning resource that you have, especially if you've never even looked at that resource or app or course or whatever before. This should have been really painfully obvious to me as somebody who has researched language apps for years and know better than most people that depending 100% on one resource to get you to where you're going is like the worst possible thing you could do. But I got excited. I have a couple of new to me language learning courses that I was really excited to try out, not only to learn the languages that I want to learn, but also to be able to review these resources for you. And don't get me wrong, I still plan on adding reviews of these resources to my language app search on my website. But instead of taking a look at these resources and thinking about whether or not they could actually apply to me and my language learning in different languages, I got really excited, really overexcited, and said, yes, I have this course for beginners and I'm going to use this for 30 days, 31 days, or whatever, and study the language. Instead, what happened was I got really frustrated and I ended up not doing much language learning at all. I jumped into this course that I had expecting it to be a certain way, and well, it wasn't. So I was really disappointed and I didn't get anywhere. Don't make commitments based on language learning resources that you have either never seen before or you don't know for sure if you actually enjoy that kind of approach and if that approach is going to get you the results that you're looking for. The second thing that I've kind of relearned for myself for the past couple of months is to plan for the inevitable. Again, this is something that I teach my clients. I have an entire 30 days of my coaching program where I teach my clients how to do this very thing, and yet. So come January, when I jumped into a Russian course that I had and was instantly disappointed, overwhelmed because I had no idea what was going on, I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have anything else to use instead. Besides what? Duolingo? Nothing against Duolingo in this context, but I didn't have any other options ready. In this specific example, I was thrown into just kind of learning a little bit of Cyrillic, a little bit of the Russian alphabet, but it wasn't really working for me and I needed a lot more practice to feel a lot more confident and comfortable with using that alphabet. And so when I realized that I really wanted to practice the alphabet more and this course wasn't going to help me with that, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what to do. That's something that I had to think about more. And in that time period, I was supposed to be committing to this course. So that didn't really work. I was so excited about this course that is advertised as for beginners. And it definitely isn't for total beginners, I know now. But when I learned that, I didn't have any other options to go through. I didn't have any, oh, if this doesn't work, here are a couple other beginner resources for Russian. I didn't have that, so I was just kind of stuck and lost. And the third thing that I had to relearn for myself was to not stick to a language goal just because I made that commitment, even publicly. I know that some people like to advise to, tell people about your goals so that you're more likely to stick to them. I mean, that particular strategy never worked for me, but apparently it works for some people and that's great. But when I tried to stick to using this course because I made this commitment and I wasn't just gonna give up, I'm a language coach and I know how to kind of mold these resources to my liking more than most people. So I thought, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be great, I'll figure it out. Yes, I can figure it out, but I don't want to. I was bored and I was frustrated and it wasn't an enjoyable thing. So what happened was I just stopped studying altogether. I didn't actually enjoy using that course, so I didn't. It was just like so overwhelming that my brain just kind of like actively avoided it. And keep in mind, be aware that I wasn't like consciously overwhelmed or frustrated. It wasn't something that I realized for myself consciously, actively. It was more along the lines of I wasn't excited to learn. So when it came down to me having free time, I didn't actually want to study Russian. So that meant that I didn't study at all. I couldn't maintain that motivation because I didn't actually want to do the thing that I had set out to do. So instead of focusing on enjoying the process and actually learning things, I focused on being consistent with that specific goal that I had to work through this course for 30 days. And when my brain didn't want to work through that course for 30 days, it didn't do anything at all. So for most of January, I didn't do much of anything at all. Have you made any of these mistakes in your language learning? Let me know in the comment section below. After spending 3 months throwing myself into this new challenge, I have learned a lot, and these are lessons that I'm going to take with me through the rest of the year. What are these lessons? What am I doing now? How am I going to change my approach? The first thing that I'm going to do, and the most important thing that I'm going to do, is I'm going to allow myself creative freedom. I'm going to allow myself to be motivated and excited by different things, even if they don't pertain to any actual goal. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it to get a grade. I'm not doing it to accomplish any sort of conversation. If you saw my video from 3 months ago explaining these goals, I specifically said that I didn't want to set a specific goal. I didn't want to set a specific intention, because I didn't want to box myself into, achieving a certain thing. I wanted to be able to enjoy myself. And instead of listening to myself in that way, I still didn't have any specific goals when it comes to what I wanted to accomplish. But I did hold myself back with specific goals as to I am going to use this resource for 30 days. So now that I've done that and I see that, I am going to remove those goals even more. My brain really wants to just like chomp onto a goal, apparently. And instead, I'm going to focus purely on enjoyment. If I try out a certain app and I don't like it, it's not working for me, it's really not engaging for me, I'm just not going to use it. If that particular course or program has me dive into a certain part of the language, expecting me to already know some stuff beforehand, like the Cyrillic alphabet, I'll put that to the side and I'll find something that will help me learn the Cyrillic alphabet or whatever prerequisite, information. And I'll focus on learning that first. I'll pay more attention to my needs. I will focus specifically on enjoyment, and I will focus specifically on learning things that make me happy in a way that makes me happy. And the second thing that I'm going to do differently is make sure that I'm not trying to prove my language learning to anybody else. From time to time I do get asked, oh, how many languages do you speak? And to be a language coach and say, oh, I only speak 2 languages, and then even that second language I'm kind of at is kind of defeating. And I have to remember that the people who are asking me that are doing that to try to prove me wrong, and are doing that because they see fluency in another language as like, I don't know, some sort of award. And I don't like to look at language learning in that way. Especially when me saying that I speak English and Spanish is not, it would not be special if I had a Hispanic name, or I had a different skin color, or different, ethnic background. On top of that, my job as a language coach who comes onto the internet and tells people like how to solve their language learning problems, I tend to put my language learning up for show, which is fine. But that also means that if I don't do it right, it can add a lot of stress to my language learning, and I have to think about, oh, what am I doing that I can show people on the internet? What can I do that is interesting to other people? How can I show, solidarity in the struggles of learning a language and things like that? So basically, instead of learning a language to enjoy it, I can easily fall into the trap of learning a language to prove that I'm learning a language. And that that kills the enjoyment, that kills the fun, because it turns into work and not into something that I enjoy frivolously. So I need to make sure that I am following my own advice to my language clients and prioritize being happy and enjoying language learning and doing stuff that makes me happy for no other reason other than it makes me happy. If you want to learn more about how I teach my clients how to enjoy their language learning long term, and I take these lessons that I've learned over like 10 years of making these mistakes and teach my clients to not make those mistakes, click the link below in the description to learn more about my 90-day coaching program, The Method. And if you like this video, make sure you check out these videos next. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Ugh, it's hot in here. Why is it so hot in here? Nice.